Welcome to the La Dolce Vita Show, a woman's guide to living a fearless and fabulous life. My name is Heather Picken, and I am here to give you that winning formula so that you can get clear on your vision, stay true to your values, and break through those mental walls. Check out my free resources at heatherpicken.com. This podcast is brought to you by Fierce Femme Wine, a woman's wine that inspires dialogue for change. Visit fiercefemme.com. So let's get ready as we uncover the formula to your success in business, career, and fabulous life. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the La Dolce Vita Show, a woman's guide to living a fearless and fabulous life. And what I love about the show is I interview women all around the world that have the formula on really how to break through their fears in business, in their career, in every area of their life. And I want to bring on today Karen Carter, and having a problem with my voice today, board certified holistic health coach, social wellness advocate, co-founder of Phenomenal Women Empowerment Connections, which is a social networking group for women of diversified backgrounds, sharing not just what they do, but the essence of who they are. So, Karen, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you, Heather. This is my very first podcast, and I'm excited to share it with you.
I love it. I love it. And, we're going to talk about today, I'm always about breaking down formulas on how we can be powerful women in the world today. And so we're going to talk about the formula of self-awareness and self-care and why that's so important for women, especially in the world today. So before we get into that topic, I always find there's, there's a story behind having that topic of importance. So I'm just kind of curious how this kind of played a role in your life, like when you realized that these things were so important.
Well, I believe as women, we are multitask by nature. And we are so busy caring for everyone else, we don't take a pause and stop and take care of ourselves. And we disperse our energy out. So it's important and imperative that we take the time to pause, whether it's busyness or distraction. And that's what combines together. As busyness or distraction, we need to stop and be self-aware of what we need, because we are really the anchor of our families, we're anchor in our lives, and we need to take care of ourselves to help everyone else to thrive as well.
It's so true. It's like getting on the airplane and they say, put the mask on yourself first and the child the second. But all too often I find women, they come against resistance or they feel depleted and they don't realize that like this is the missing piece to really make their work, to really make their life work, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it enhances them mentally, spiritually, emotionally, when they have that time for themselves. Even connecting with other positive, like-minded women is something that has an enhancement to feel, well, okay, I have my few minutes of my time or a couple hours of my time, and now I can give back to my family, I can give back to my business, or now I can concentrate on a project. You need that rejuvenation to keep going. And and a lot of us have to go over those walls to get there, or guilt. Some women with families have guilt. They feel that they have to not take time for themselves when they should.
Yeah, I always find that interesting when women have the guilt, especially if you're raising kids, maybe you're a single mom and you are putting yourself last. And I really find that is a problem, because if you cannot give to yourself, then you're not going to be able to give to your kids. You're not going to be able to run your business, especially if you're an entrepreneur. I know for me, and I don't have kids, but I have worked with women that have been single moms raising multiple kids. But I just know personally from my own experience, when I'm not giving to myself, and this has happened in prior relationships, what happens to me specifically is I start feeling depleted physically. and I will start feeling anxious. Like I remember feeling anxious when I was in these relationships that were not serving me because I wasn't being true to myself. So I'm just kind of curious of your experience when you have not been self-aware, when you have not taken care of yourself.
Well, it is a consciousness. I too don't have children, but I do involved in a lot of different things outside of my world when it comes to business and personal life. But there was a period of time that I over exhausted myself. And your body gives you signals. It definitely gives you signals when you have depleted your energies. And there's subtle things that will come, whether it's a racing heart, whether it's anxiety feelings, whether it's lack of sleep. And those little symptoms can come to larger symptoms, which can become a chronic issue. And that's what happened to me several years ago when I was diagnosed with Graves' disease. And I didn't know how I got there. How did I get there? And thinking back and learning the cause, and then and in health as a holistic health counselor, I only want to know what was the cause, how I become that girl when I wasn't that girl last year. So when you learn about the different type of diet that you're taking in the and the lifestyle that you're living, when you're not taking the time to rest, not taking the time to eat properly, and your body not listening to your body's needs. And then when I'm thinking back, and I say, you know what? Instead of me resting at midnight, I'm doing laundry, and then I'm getting up at 6 a.m. to start all over again. And I should have just stopped at a certain time, made myself go to sleep. And then with the awareness of the Graves' disease, I found out that I was sensitive to certain foods, such as gluten. And learning that the carbs and gluten and different things in your body, also with dispensing all that energy, became toxic. The stress that you place in your body by compounding with the food that you're placing in your body that wasn't good for your body and not knowing it. So it's like unraveling and taking that time to pause during that time in my life to say, well, I have to make adjustments. It was holistic, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And with that, I was able to steer away from all the medications that I was given to control these symptoms to where I'm several years later symptom free and without medications because I was able to holistically bring into my life what I needed, whether it's yoga classes to reduce stress, whether walking in nature, whether eating more whole foods and nothing that's in a package or a box that was good for my body. It took a discipline and it took time, but it's what was needed because if you don't, you can go over that edge and not realize it. But you have to take pause and listen to your body, and that was my lesson.
Wow. Yeah, that is such a beautiful lesson because you really learned how to course correct it through nutrition, taking care of yourself. And, this is where the problem I have with Western medicine. Western medicine does not diagnose the root cause. They just give you a pill and then send you off on your merry way. Now, I do
Right.
feel that Western medicine does serve a purpose, so I'm not going to negate that. But
Exactly.
I too I had dealt with years ago chronic bladder infections, and if you've ever had one of those, oh my gosh, they are not fun. Let's just tell you, I've had to go to the emergency room several times, and I remember going to a specialist telling me that I would have to be on antibiotics for the rest of my life. And I tell you,
Wow.
I did not want to take that lightly. I said, no way. I am going to advocate for myself and find a way to heal my body. And as soon as I made that decision, that's when the healing occurred. So I find that all of this goes back to self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And even there's actually a branch in science called psychoneuroimmunology, and it's all about how the mind impacts disease. So when I'm actually working with women on business, and if I find that they have issues, autoimmune disease or anything that you could really think about, I always ask them, are you taking care of yourself? Where are you not giving to yourself? So I think this conversation, Karen, is so important for women. I want every woman to wake up and realize that you do have a purpose. So let's
Yeah.
talk about purpose, Karen, and let's talk about this foundation that you've created, Phenomenal Women Empowerment
Yeah.
Connection. So what
Yeah.
was the inspiration behind this?
Well, it's my sister Deborah and I. We are both holistic health counselors and yoga teachers. And we remember being trained that wheel of life, which encompasses your finance, your career, your health, your nutrition, social, relationships. So we took this aspect of social wellness out of it. And we created a luncheon. It was before we became Phenomenal Women. We were the premise and the purpose of Phenomenal Women was based on honoring and edifying other women, including our mother, who was alive at the time. It was back in June 2016. And it was a lovely afternoon where we had friends invite friends, and it was a diverse group of women, and we honored and edified those women who were positive influences in our lives. And we reflect that with a flower. We asked them to give one word to describe themselves, and we matched a flower to symbolize that to them, and we honored them with that. And we allowed them to share the essence of who they were to everybody in the room. So we went around the room, everyone sharing a little light of themselves, influencing and enhancing everyone listening. And it was such a beautiful event where we decided just to continue it quarterly. And it was really based on our teachings from our parents about faith, family, friends, and most importantly, servitude. Because we also have a charitable arm to our organization where every quarter we spotlight a nonprofit organization in a way of giving back. So it's not just collectively learning and being enhanced by positive associations. That's part of social wellness because it's self-care in its essence, because social wellness, if you see studies, it shows that you are engaged in positive activities or you are interacting with positive people. It's an anti-depression, it's anti-Alzheimer's, anti-cancer, it enhances your immune system, it enhances longevity. So with that said, it's a positive influence to be enhanced by people who are positive and enhances your life and your wellness.
I
So
love that, and I love the fact also that you have charitable organizations that you are giving back to. You know, I think about like creating all these movements for women. What's going on in the world today? I think that, and I know for certain that women, we are changing the world as we speak, and we will continue to balance out the world with our feminine energy so that we feel more equal. Now, I feel that this is going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think organizations like yours are just part of the formula. Would you agree?
I would agree. And it's special when you see the influence within your group. We have a particular event called Dine and Learn, where we're able as members, because you don't have to be a member, but members do have special events that we connect with each other. And the Dine and Learn is giving you the ability to share an essence of who you are, what you're doing. So we had one particular episode of Dine and Learn where women were able to enhance their looks. And they walked away saying, texting me back, Karen, that was a great meeting. I'm actually putting a spot of color today. I'm actually conscious. I'm not wearing so much black and I feel great. I look good. And that's part of self-care to make them smile and make them happy. So when you have women to feel empowered within themselves, they also have the ability to empower other women and empower their communities, empower their society, empower their office place, empower their family, their churches. We are in a movement to say, well, hear us, we have something to say, and we're here to stay.
I love that. I love that, Karen. Now let's talk about, you know, conquering your fear, breaking through fears and failures, because I truly believe all successful women really need failure to get to the top, right? And we need to overcome fear. Like one of my jobs as a business strategist and executive coach is to show women how to, you know, eat fear for breakfast, because I think we've been conditioned as little girls, a lot of us have been, to run away from fear like prey, whereas boys, they are eating it for breakfast. So I'm just kind of curious, did you grow up with a mindset with your parents, either your mother or father, showing you that fear was necessary, like how to work through that and along with failure?
Well, I have to say I was very thankful to be raised by two parents who were courageous in their faith. And they taught us how. It was that foundation based on faith, knowing that there's something bigger than you that's supporting you. There's more for you than against you in this universe. And you just have to believe in that. And that you have to feel that, well, my mother used to always say, that's why there's an eraser at the end of the pencil. You just keep moving and erase it and move on. And you have to overcome your fears because there's nothing too big that you can't achieve. And you learn as a stepping stone. There's so many successful people who failed many times, but they use it as a lesson, as a stepping stone to get closer to where they want to succeed. So it's overcoming your fears is all in the brain. That's where it starts. And knowing that you can get past the wall if you feel you can, that mountain can move if you feel that mountain can move. So it's all again a faith-based, energizing, motivating in your own self, because no one can do it for you. People can talk to you all day long, but if you don't feel it within your spirit that you can be an overcomer and achieve and look to find help when you need it, and that's another thing, you can't be afraid to ask. Hey, I don't know, I don't understand, it didn't help, I need help with this. Some people need to be too prideful not to share the fact that they need help. And maybe that's why they also might be failing. They don't know how to reach out and say, hi, hey, look at me. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you show me?
I
So
love
it's
that.
a lesson, the self-learned lesson to overcome whether it's pride, it's not taking away anything from you. If anything, your failures are lessons to learn and to share with others. So I feel that people need to realize that it is okay to fail. At least you're still on a path to achieve.
I love that. So listen up, women. It is okay to fail, and failure, it's part of your formula for you to be successful. So next time that you quote unquote fail, I want everyone to reframe that and just say, wow, what did I learn from that? What did, or actually, what were the benefits of this? I always feel that there is a silver lining with every quote unquote so-called failure. And when we look at the failure as fuel and we reframe it, we can go on to bigger and better things. And another thing that you hit upon, Karen, was like asking for support. I don't know about you, but one of the biggest things that really allowed me to have my business take off was investing in mentors and resources that I knew that it's like when you can't get out of your own way, it does take a village. So I'm curious, what is the value that you have on mentors or coaches? Do you invest in yourself? Have you done it in the past?
Absolutely. You want to connect with people who know more than you. You want to be with people who are smarter than you. You want to be with people who has what you want or desire to achieve. And those people are more than willing, believe it or not. Oftentimes, successful people are willing to mentor you and not look for a fee. So I've done both, where I've had coaches where I paid for to help with a certain sector of knowing or achieving something. But there are some people in your social market, and that's where you have to be. You have to be outside your own island, socialize and network with people, and you come across those people who are willing to show you and give freely and unselfishly mentoring successful people. And it's just being out there and connecting and being in that circle and finding them. So it's something that's important to ask. And it's also whether you're paying for it or whether you are lucky enough to have someone who's able to guide you along based on their experiences, where they say each one teach one, it's important. It's important. Either way, it's where you want to go. Connect yourself with those people. Where do you want to achieve? Find the resources to get you there.
I love that, Karen. So, so important. I want every woman listening. Hey, if you're stuck in a rut, if you've been stuck more than 30 days, my rule of thumb is to find someone, either invest in a coach or find a mentor that can help you, and be proactive. You definitely have to ask, because otherwise you're going to get left behind and you're never going to realize your highest potential. So Karen, wow, this has been so amazing. I really appreciate you coming
Thank you,
on
Heather.
here and talking about your passion, talking about also self-care and self-awareness. So before we go, where can women learn about your phenomenal women?
Well, we are Instagram, Phenomenal Women Connect. And there any questions, they can also email me at km like Michael, c like cat yoga 85 @gmail.com.
Perfect. And we will also have that in the show notes, everyone. So until next time, this is Heather Picken. Live fearlessly. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. So if you like what you hear on this podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe. Interested in becoming a sponsor or learning more about leadership for women's performance using neuroscience or business coaching, contact support@heatherpicken.com. And don't forget to grab my latest book, The La Dolce Vita Formula, by going to fearlessandfabulousbook.com. That's fearlessandfabulousbook.com.